Let me do that. Awesome. So today we're going to talk through the program. So our COVID Catch-Up Accelerator program will go through program details and how to implement, as well as some really fun marketing assets we have for you all that are really cute. So we're excited to share. So for a general overview, we created this program in response to education gaps that obviously happened during the 2020-2021 school year. Across the nation, teachers have reported that students are on average 2 to 3 months behind where they should be. So we do agree that students will need additional learning hours to compensate for what's happened. It's just very unprecedented. So we're here to target the individual needs of those students and target those gaps so that they can get accelerated and make up for any gaps that occurred this past school year. So we've come up with a few different package options in order to catch them up and to prepare them for the next school year over the summer. In terms of challenges that we've seen our families face, obviously we're on both the front lines and have talked to parents, and through you all, we've heard concerns as well about students' progress, how they're feeling overwhelmed. So we can address a lot of those issues with this new program. One of the issues that we run into is that families want to make sure that their kids are caught up before that next school year. So we promise that while learning is hard and it requires a collaboration between parents and ourselves, we will be that academic partner to be there every step of the way. So we are able to individually pinpoint what those individual needs are and to assess where they can grow. That will be through obviously our assessment tests, and we'll be able to cover within that time frame the topics that they need to know before the next school year. So those assessments will help us determine how much support their children will need and what specific topics we do need to cover. Another concern is that students are just feeling really overwhelmed and concerned about commitment. So our 12-week course is designed to help them get caught up in a short amount of time. It's not a huge commitment because it is 12 weeks and summer is the perfect time to get caught up before that next school year. So our Accelerator program focuses on just that. So using those assessment results, again, we will recommend a number of classes and lessons that will help them. So it is very tailored to the individual student. And unlike our enrichment, this is only a 3-week commitment, or sorry, a 3-month commitment. So they won't have to be as concerned or overwhelmed about constantly being there for classes. And if they enjoy the program, it's great because then they can move to month with us if they choose in the fall. Finally, families want to know how much it will cost to get their students the support they need to succeed. So we've created that Accelerator program that will fit their needs on a budget. And we'll go over package pricing in a bit, but our package prices will vary in price so that they can determine what's the best fit for their family and what they'll be able to do. So here we have a list of our package options and our pricing. Please note that these are based off of $130 a month enrichment pricing. So yours may be a little bit different, but essentially we're charging for level A. If they do 1 class per week per subject for those 3 months, it would be 3 times what the enrichment price would be. So $390 or whatever is your pricing, 3 times that. And then level B would be 2 classes per week per subject for 3 months for a total of $780. And then finally level C, so that's if they really need to catch up on a lot of material, that would be 3 classes per week per subject for the 3 months. So that would come out to approximately $1,170. So as you can see, we were flexible with what their student needs. If they do just need a brief catch up, obviously level A is going to be the best fit for them. If they need a little bit more attention, level B and level C, and we'll discuss thresholds in a little bit for assessment tests and how you can determine which package is going to be the best recommendation for the family. And I am going to turn this over to Becky. We have some fun marketing assets to go over.
Yeah, like Anna said, our main focus here with this COVID Accelerator program is to reach out to the families that are feeling overwhelmed by the unprecedented school year. They may not be able to afford, the private tutoring prices that Huntington or Sylvan are offering, something like that. But we're able to give them an affordable option that really pinpoints their child's needs. So with our marketing, we really want to spin it in a positive way. We want to avoid words like gaps or falling behind or things like that. And we want to package it as an accelerator, put a positive spin on it. So that's what you'll see in these marketing posts and ads. So this is for a Facebook ad or something like that. So this is one ad set. It's our ad set A, which you'll be able to find on Trail within our special programs and in the folder COVID Accelerator program. It's not there yet, but we'll release it as soon as we are done with this webinar today. But as you can see with this ad set, it's very literal. This would reach a certain type of parent that maybe just wants to be, wants the straightforward messaging. So it's just, just the tagline is don't just catch up, level up. So, we're just like saying, use the summer to get ahead, which I'm sure is on a lot of our parents' minds this summer. But we have the creative ad set here on the left, and then we also have the ad copy for you. So you can just copy and paste this and put this into your Facebook ads. And then the next one focuses more about fun, which we thought not necessarily fun. I mean, it's fun, but more about like we're engaging them in learning and making it interesting for them. So this set B is about, they don't need to know that it's good for them. Kids are overwhelmed. They hear school now and probably groan because they've been in these like online classes and in their schools where their schools don't know what's going on. So this ad set is really driving home that they'll be excited to learn again. They'll feel confident for the school year. They'll feel good about it, about learning. So again, we have the creative there, and then we have the copy. And this ad set C is more cutesy and less literal. So we have, obviously the rocket ship going to the space, which I find really, really cute. So this one is just, playing on the like idea that we're shooting for the stars, less literal translation, but it's the same idea as set A as well. So yep, just like the ad copy, or we have the ad copy on the right, and then we also have the Facebook ad on the left. So you can feel free to use these for your marketing. Yeah. So, and then we also have some emails, which we've gotten a great response when we've tested it out in the Washington centers. So again, it's the same look and feel as the Facebook ad sets or the digital ad sets, but we also have some copy, short and sweet, but we want to direct them to a consultation to learn more. So the important thing to note here is when you are making a Facebook post for these ad sets, when you go to learn more, they'll fill out a form, and you'll want to catch them to schedule an appointment for them, because the whole idea behind our COVID Accelerator program is it's going to be more consultative. we're holding their hands a little bit more than we would like, letting them just go and do the questionnaire. We want to work with them to see what's best for their child. So you'll want to, like, if you get responses from these ad sets, you'll want to schedule an assessment and consultation, which Anna will get into in a little bit. But yeah, so those are our ads. We're very excited about them. We've launched them in the Washington centers and seems to be doing pretty well. And then along with this, we do have a Facebook ad, like creating Facebook ad SOP with ideas for optimization based on some of our experience, and then a video as well. So if you're feeling a little bit lost with Facebook ads, I mean, of course, feel free to reach out to us, but we also have an SOP with step-by-step directions and optimization. And that's coming from our marketing director, Tina. So she has a lot more knowledge on this than, so she's spreading the wealth of knowledge that she has. So Dr. G, sorry, I just like completely stumbled on my words. Dr. G just asked if this is enrichment or if it's a summer like camp. So we are actually just plugging these students into our enrichment classes. So it's just we're actually just changing the pricing and the packaging of our enrichment to make it a little bit more digestible for people who don't necessarily want to commit to like a month-to-month program, because especially now, some families might see that as like very overwhelming. Oh, I have to like be in this subscription model, but this is just like you pay once, you get what you need before summer. Just a different way to package our enrichment, essentially.
So exactly what Becky said, and we do want to make this again more consultative, so a collaboration with the parents. So we, on that initial call, have the aim to get them in for that assessment and consultation so that we can plan for which program is best. So we'll begin that initial call again when you get a call for the center by explaining the program in a way that parents can understand. We'll explain the details, that it's a 12-week program and that we have different options for them. And then describing the benefits. It's not a huge commitment because it is those 12 weeks, again, like Becky mentioned. And then also setting it up for how it aligns with their child's learning goals. So again, explaining, we're trying to accelerate their learning, spinning it in a positive light, rather than focusing too much on explaining how there are gaps in education. And then letting them know that the assessment is non-obligatory, so they can take the questionnaire, go through the consultation, and then decide if the program is a good fit for them. So during that time, we'll have the 45-minute assessment, and then we'll complete that 20-minute for a consultation. So during that initial call, you'll want to answer some of these questions to understand their needs a little bit more. So again, their grade level, what subject they're interested in, why they're interested in best in class or tutoring in general, and then what are the goals for their students. Try to understand what their biggest pain points are, what they want to address with tutoring, and when they want to enroll as well. And then by the end of that call, you do want to explain that this is a unique summer opportunity that will help to accelerate their learning, to catch them up prior to that next school year. So you may also want to maybe create a call to action if you have a promotional special going on in your center. And then also just kind of nail a deadline for when they should enroll to give that sense of urgency. And then during that assessment, so assuming you then go through with the assessment and consultation with the parent, you'll want to begin by introducing yourself just like you would at a normal consultation, and then communicate the process with them so that you'll be proctoring that assessment. So then the next step would just be going through and doing the actual assessment with the student. And then from there, once the student completes the assessment, you can determine a good package recommendation for them. We've created these thresholds as a guide for you all. Again, every student's different, but we found that these scores would best align with the packages. So if they take the assessment and they score over a 60% or above, we'd probably recommend package A, since they don't need a ton of catching up to do. But that 12-week program, again, would help to fill in some of those areas that they may have missed during the school year. And then if they score between a 15 or a 59%, then you would recommend package B, which again would be those 2 lessons a week. And then if they score a 14% or lower, you would want to recommend package C, which would be three lessons a week, since they do need a bit more catching up to get up to grade level. So based off of your recommendation and what you see, you'll want to provide assessment feedback along with your package recommendation. So you'll want to let the parent know that although it's their decision to decide which package they would like, we strongly encourage that that they go with the package that we recommended. And then in terms of invoicing and billing, so after your parent has committed to a package or decided what would be best for them, you can then create the invoice and then discuss those charges with them so that they can see. Again, since this is a one-time program, so it's only a 12-week commitment, you can let them know it's just the one-time payment, so that doesn't make it seem as overwhelming for them. And then when you create the invoice, you'll want to actually show them the pricing breakdown. So for package A, you're just going to be charging 3 counts of your standard enrichment pricing. And then for package B and C, it would be 6 counts, and package C, it would be 9 counts. And since it is a one-time payment, you can opt to collect that via cash or check. However, if they're going to continue with enrichment in the fall, you'll want to let them know that they do need to complete that EFT form. And if you prefer to do EFT in the first place, you can also just opt to have them fill that form out in the beginning. After you've done invoicing them, you want to schedule them. So you'll want to have the parent commit to those specific days and times of classes. And when placing them on the schedule, you do want to keep in mind a couple of things. So if you're scheduling for level B or level C, so that would be twice a week or 3 times a week, you may want to consider spacing out their lessons. So if possible, having their lessons on alternate days, or if your center's open multiple days, you'd maybe spacing it out so that they can have a break in between, if at all possible. And then also something to keep in mind is that for levels E4 through E10, you want to take into consideration that lesson timeline so that you can set them up in case they want to start with enrichment in the fall, that they're on the same lesson schedule as the rest of your students. So you'll want to kind of, based off of their assessment results, place them accordingly and make sure that that is planned out in advance so that in the fall, you're not stuck with trying to figure out what material to get them.
And with scheduling, I already said this with the marketing, but I want to emphasize that this is just plugging students into your enrichment classes. So if you have classes like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, plugging them into those classes, it's not adding an extra cost or an extra class for you.
Exactly. So in terms of operations, those were all the program details I had to go over. Again, as Becky mentioned, it's like our similar enrichment, it's just repackaged in a way that is digestible for parents, and that is not as big of a commitment. So I will turn the floor to maybe questions if you guys have any.
I see some questions in the chat, so let me go through them. So yeah, Dr. G, we kind of saw your program and was like, this is really cool. So, you know, anytime you guys are doing something like this, we'd love to hear about it because we want to see what's going on. You guys are in the front lines and we like to see the creative juices flowing.
It worked well for this year, for sure. I don't know if it's going to work next year, but for this year and what kids and their families needed, it worked perfectly.
Yeah. And then for working through more than one packet, if they're going to classes 2 or 3 times a week, I would just say that it's dependent on the student, really. I mean, ideally, we'd want them to get them to do 2 packets a week or 3 packets a week, but you know, that might not necessarily be conducive to their learning, or maybe they need to stay on a packet because it's a harder packet for them 1 week. No big deal. It's not like they're tied to like 24 packets if they're on package B. But yeah, package B, definitely I would give them 2 packets per week unless they're really struggling with keeping up with the homework, or do like a customized packet, I guess, where it's like, okay, do these sections and you don't need to worry about the other sections, something like that. Like if in their English, they're like you really want to focus on like vocabulary for them, you can just focus on those sections. So that way they have a little less homework. And then same thing with 3. I would definitely recommend working with your teachers to like, you don't need to focus on, or just do the classwork. You don't need to do the homework, or do half the homework. You don't need to finish the full homework just because it might be a lot for them. But I would gauge the student's level of commitment too, and what they're comfortable with. And yeah, if it's 3 months, I mean, the ideal start time would be June. But I think they can run a little bit into the fall school year, since the school year, especially in September, they're going to be end up doing a lot of review anyway. So you can have this spill a little bit into fall, but the parents would just want to be conscious of students' time, because you know summer is the perfect time to do twice a week, but then maybe it's not a good option for the fall. But
So are you guys okay if we just do 2 months? Because I know I can fit 2 months in. 3 months would probably be a little more challenging. Do you care or do you not care?
no, if you want to do, you just need to bill it differently.
Yeah,
but
just
yeah,
the bill. Okay.
yeah. The reason why we chose 3 months, just to give a little background, is we noticed that students really like start hitting a stride after 3 months. They start feeling confident and comfortable in the classrooms. So, I mean, our goal, of course, here is to help students catch up for the summer, but also we want to think about converting them to enrichment. So if they stay for 3 months, they might be like really enjoying your classes. Like, I want to stay with Dr. G, for the school year for just regular enrichment. So that's going to be our goal. And we'll start giving you some resources for that later in the summer when we create them for like, hey, do you want to convert to enrichment type of messaging?
Yeah, piggyback on what Becky said. In the past, we have, for example, we have test Groupon, right? 1 month is pretty much zero conversion, right? It's pretty much they stay and then they do it for 1 month and then gone. 2 months, we got some traction, and then
We had about a
30%
conversion once we upped it. Yeah, it was very surprising.
Yeah, and then the end goal is to convert them into enrichment, right? It's a long-term investment for them, and we want to convert them. So 3 months is ideal, but if you can do anything more than a month is great, right? 2 months is better than 1 month, right? Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
This is good, Becky, but my problem is that again, because it's enrichment is designed, and enrichment packets are designed in a way that you learn doing the whole thing. Can we come up with another outline where, actually catching up would mean, okay, let's do these 5 or 6 topics for maybe grade 6. And, if somebody can combine, as you're saying, that, pick and choose a few. In a enrichment class, it's very difficult for teacher to, make a new syllabus for a child. But if
yeah,
do
it's not necessarily a new syllabus. It's just, if a student doesn't have the time or is continually not doing, like if they're doing 2 packets a week and they're not doing them, it's better to put them on some sort of customized schedule. Like we've always done like half packets and things like that, so you can do that.
But can't you
But
have a customized outline, new one, where, it's only for summer and somebody, rising pre-algebra should know this before they do it, or rising middle schooler, 6th grader should know this. So we can customize and, pick a few topics and customize a package for summer, and not touch the enrichment, because enrichment is good. It has the right flow. Now, picking and choosing a few pages and making the student do that would be very difficult. But this is another idea, that customize for summer, another outline, maybe other, I mean, you don't have to make the syllabus is already there, but somebody picks and chooses. Like I would have to pick and choose, the other franchisees will have to do the same for the child. But if we can come up with something that on the corporate level, that this is good outline for a rising, you know
Yeah, just to clarify, I think just to clarify what Becky was saying, we're not saying to customize for the student. We're saying to do the assessment test for each student, and that will tell you where they're at within the curriculum and which gaps that they have. And then from there, you just continue with regular enrichment, because most of the students are going to be able to get through. There's no classes during the summer. They should be able to get through a packet per session. If they don't, that's when you can have not necessarily customized packages, but within the packet itself, cross out some of the sections. So we really want to make sure that this isn't, we don't want you to have to create new classes for this. The goal is to plug in the gap within your enrichment so you don't have additional cost factors.
And to piggyback on what Laura said, it's hard to have a one size fits it all. So because it is an accelerator program, right? So historically, most of our students are enrichment students and all that. So this, you can feel that it's a different market, right? It could be a Caucasian market. It could be someone who's needing a little bit of catch up. So having a one size fits all might not work for individual franchisee, but I'll give you a tips. We have several review chapters in math, right? They are so powerful that you can use them to give them some review instead of like covering the whole thing if they are slightly behind, like Anna just mentioned. But if they are super behind, then you need to have them do the chapter. But they are slightly behind, you are able to do a few review chapter to help them, like kind of refresh the concept. Yeah, I hope I answer your question. Oh, by the way, Shahar, your speaker is really low. We can barely hear you. So yeah. But when I turned the volume on, it's like Peggy was like screaming, so it must be. Yeah. Any other questions?
well, if there are no other questions, we'll be sending all this in like a format where it will have like the program overview, what to do, our call outline, assessment and consultation outline, as well as our great marketing ad sets and our Facebook SOP. So we will put this on Trainio and then also post a link to Slack. So if you guys aren't using Slack yet, I encourage you to add that. So we'll be sending out resources that way, so you can just kind of click the link and be on your way. But if you have any questions or concerns when you're looking through these items, we're here to help too.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to give a little plug on Slack too. And thank you those who are very active like Dr. G and many of you. Slack is more convenient than the Google Hangout because it's divided into different channels. So if you want to talk about the summer program, go to the camp. You want to talk about your enrichment, go to the enrichment channel. If you have some good news to share, just put in best practices, or if you want to make a suggestion. So we, my team monitored very closely. I'm pretty active on it, and Joseph too. So, we'll try to be as engaged as possible. And then I think the beauty about our company is not how good we are or Becky or Laura, is the collective knowledge in this community, right? So I learned so much from each of you, and then because sometimes I learn a lot from Dr. G, and I share with other franchisee and they picked it up, right? And I learned something from Susan, and I shared with others. So I mean, collectively we have 50 plus brilliant brand in here, and then collectively we can make, we can help each other and cheer each other up, inspire each other, motivate each other, and help each other out and to grow our business. And like Jerry said, we want 1,000 is the end goal, right? Like we want every single location or territory, not franchisee, they have 1,000 subject. So that is our big, hairy, audacious goal, and we're gonna get there. Yeah, so that's our goal. You might not like it, you might want 2,000, and that's great. But minimum 1,000. How's that sound?
That's good.
Sounds great. Are you guys doing in person, or are you still all virtual in Seattle?
Unfortunately, Washington is still pretty bad.
Planning our in person. We're hoping for in person.
In person though, we will be reaching out with more in-person support items for you all, especially for the blended learning folks, and how to combine that. We've just been doing a few test runs. So if you see something in BC Print about blended learning, that's under
it's being tested. Don't touch it.
we almost rolled back to phase 2 last week. So we had a freeze on it for the next 2 weeks.
So really?
Yes. Seriously. So next week we'll know if we go back to phase 2 or not. So hopefully not, fingers crossed. So we are still pretty conservative here, and hopefully we'll reopen, maybe a soft one in the summer or September. Now, of course, if you have any one of you have been open, if you have any best practices, something to watch out, please share, because half of us are not even open. For those who already open, and then, if you encounter anything and you said, oh, I want to share with my peer. So it will be greatly appreciated. Yeah,
absolutely.
Especially like Molly, I think you never close, right? You close a little bit, and then Texas open. So share some of your best practices to us, right?
Actually, Florida, all of you Florida Z's, I'm sure you've been open for a long time.
Yeah, and George here, right? Would you recommend everyone to buy like the plexiglass in between? Where do you buy it? How much does it cost? And some of the stuff just share with the group, because this is new. This is even new to us, right? You are actually way ahead of us. We haven't even opened because we're not even allowed to.
Yeah. We were the first to close.
We were the first to close and last to open.
But so save the date. We'll be hosting a webinar next Wednesday. So we'll be sending some information about that, and just get ready for some more webinars. We're going webinar crazy, and
hopefully we're getting out of this COVID thing very soon, and then we'll be very active now, because there are a lot of changes in the next several weeks or months. So we'll be very active on helping some of you open if you have not done it yet, or fully open.
Mm-hmm. And I want to plug one more thing before we leave. We have been doing some planning in the franchise world for you guys, and we're going to release something called a monthly kit each month, and that will be for the next month. So it'll be like resources, like maybe some marketing, some messaging, maybe even programs, or even like a fun seasonal thing for you to launch for the next month. So like in May, we will be doing a June marketing kit, and then in June we'll be giving you a July marketing, or not, it's not necessarily marketing, monthly kit. And hopefully that will help you guys with some of your planning and whatnot. You don't have to use it, or you don't have to use it in that particular month. but it's just what we're planning on doing in our centers and whatnot. So we thought it would be helpful to share it in like a monthly package with you.
Yeah, and for those of you who are not on ILP yet, please talk to, we probably have a third to a half of the franchisee are using RLP. And then before the end of the year, we'll migrate it to the Adaptively platform. There are a lot of exciting. So it's going to be,
another webinar coming on all of the exciting features.
All the
so there's
exciting
a lot
things.
of support coming your way.
Yeah,
this time on Wednesdays.
yeah. I still remember when you, before you signed the franchise agreement, right? I mean, every single one of you, what are your differentiator? Right? Our differentiator, we are futurists, right? Kumon is not doing it yet, all your competitor, but like we are already ahead of the game. But we just want you to be, jump onto the ship, student can do it online, educational game, and a lot more exciting stuff and STEM and all this stuff. I don't want to give up too much stuff because my team is not they're gonna shut me off. But like there will be a lot of exciting stuff to present to you before the end of the year. But it can only happen if you do the RLP because those are high technology stuff. It cannot be done on pencil and paper. It's simulations. It's computer games.
Yeah, you need a really strong foundation technology wise to be able to host those. So we're kind of building the all-inclusive and adding all sorts of fun bells and whistles. So we've got a lot coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have Bitcoin for the student instead of BC dollar, right? BIC Bitcoin. So they collect Bitcoin and then can buy some stuff, right? Like we have our own Bitcoin, right? BIC coin, I call it Bitcoin.
That's a ways away. So I will tell you, we don't have that yet. That's a ways.
Oh, we don't have that yet. It's just my vision.
Yeah, I have so many ideas. So just be on the lookout. We'll be sprinkling them throughout the year, and I'm excited. And we have Tina didn't join us today, but we have Tina, who is our marketing director, who's absolutely awesome, and she's been leading a lot of those like marketing assets and things like that. So we're excited to.
So we have a request from Ruchika. Is that okay to push 30 minutes late, right? So we're here at your service, but I want to see how other people are thinking,
we could send out a poll. That might be easier.
Yeah, we'll send out a poll.
Yeah, that's just much easier to do.
Yeah. Awesome.
Great.
Thank you all. It's great to see you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you next week.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
all. Bye.
Bye.